You can call it salt and pepper, charcoal, silver, whatever you want to name it. Basically, it is early gray hair. And some people have their hair as early as 20, some are even not gray until 50, 60. So clearly, the scientists did not find out what is the reason of early gray hair. There are many reasons. They're looking into it, but remember, it is partly because of the genes. So if your mom or dad have a chance of getting gray earlier, you probably have a chance of higher chance of getting gray earlier. The other thing is race is a factor. If the white people, if a white person gets gray in age 20s, it's early. But for an African American, getting gray at age 30 is early. So it is really looking based on the race. So when you look at it, for a race, what is early means for another one normal. One of the reasons why people get gray is B12 vitamin deficiency. So if you have a B12 vitamin deficiency, you have higher chance of getting a gray hair. There are also thyroid and pituitary problem. These are two glands over here and here in your brain. If there's a problem with these glands, hormonal problems, you may have a higher chance of getting gray hair. At the end, there are many ways, and some people embrace white hair. For some people, it's cool, you know. For example, CNN, Anderson Cooper, he's an anchorman and he loves and he sports his gray hair, you know. So it's about embracing your gray hair. George Clooney as well. He has gray hair and he looks great and people love him. So it's really about embracing. You should feel comfortable with your look. And actually, some people nowadays turn their hair to gray or silver to look cool. So at the end, it's not about, it doesn't mean you have a health problem per se. It can be just genetics and you don't need to be afraid of it. But there are other things, like there was a study that was done. You have a higher chance of getting low bone density. So your bone may break earlier if you have gray hair. There are some studies that are done. Some studies say yes, some studies say no. So we don't know exactly. So gray hair is actually not a problem per se. It's about embracing. You can embrace like George Clooney, you can embrace like Anderson Cooper, you may look cool because it shows you're actually fighting. You have succeeded, you went through, you have experience. It's like a warrior having your war marks on you. So at the end, if you embrace it, it's not a problem, and many people find them more charismatic, more attractive. But if it is impacting your personal, how you view yourself, there are solutions about gray hair. There are many ways you can actually put some other things and make sure it is black. But thing is, if it's not done properly, you don't look natural. When you don't look natural, you look weird and people feel it, you know. So it's all about your self-image and embracing it. But the good news is most of the time, gray hair does not mean you have a disease. It's your genetics and some other reasons. Sometimes it is because of vitamin B12 deficiency, pituitary or thyroid problems. So if you have gray hair, my recommendation is embrace it and be happy with it.